So, welcome to Philadelphia Walks, PTSD. My name is Sharon Cole, or Cole. However you want to refer to me, it's no big deal either which way. I've been called everything under the sun from people who didn't make a deal with God. And they might act like it. Or did they? So, anyway, as always, I come on here for my one video each day, 365 days. We are officially on day 43. And I would read that immediately as 43. What happened when I was 43 years old? I started my MFA at the new school. That's how my life goes. I see numbers and all kinds of associations come up. Why did I seek out an MFA from the new school? I was trying to figure out how to escape a trap. This city was nonstop Satan activity. I don't know what it is, or what these people thought they were doing, or who's at the core of it, or who thinks that they were allowed to come in and act as if they could redirect my life, or as if I was supposed to learn something. I would never slap down on someone and impose or say, you have to learn what I know. We all have our private thoughts. We all think, well, she doesn't know this, and everybody has their own journey. Some very controlling people decided to unleash something on me in January of 2011. It was bad. The city knows it. Jalen Hurts kind of knows there's something up because, we made the Super Bowl that quick. And we know somebody knows Jalen Hurts. I don't discredit him. I know he's a talented player. He has that name for a reason. He knew it mattered. He knows it matters. His parents know it matters. I would love to know how he grew up because they already knew something that most people don't know. How to name your children, right? But anyway, aside, I don't know anything about football that much, or, I want them to win. I actually think these are beautiful people. I think they deserve to win. I think they put the hard work in. I know people grow up a certain way, and they sort of, in a way, they have to sort of toe the line in a certain world in order to reach such goals of great heights, per se. Jalen does hurt, and it hurts to threaten people with jail. Whatever your agenda is. I don't need anybody talking about taxes. They're part of the problem too. Or talking about this or talking about that, or leaving little girl barrettes all over the place, because I sought out therapy to escape a certain upbringing in which there was some inappropriateness, kind of a lot, dating as back as the mid-1970s. And I'm being threatened with something that I had to escape from. That's how bad this problem was that started the fourth Monday of January 2011. So I was made to believe I'd be murdered in my apartment. And if that weren't bad enough, the games commenced after that. And it was nonstop. Let's threaten Sharon with homelessness, psychological warfare to make it seem like she's going to go crazy, fabricated evidence to make her look like a pedophilia or a terrorist even. Maybe we can arrange for her to look like an accessory to a terrorist who bombs cars. That's how bad that is. I would never think of this on my own. I'm actually not that creative, and I don't have a military or that mindset. The people in the world of police, they think of these things because they encounter it. I don't know which comes first, the chicken or the egg, to be honest. All I know is I was over here in LGBT land thinking, I'm kind of happy. I actually feel empowered for the first time in my life. I feel liberated. Because in my personal case, and this is not to discredit good men because there's a lot of good men out there, but sadly they have to be, attacked all the time because of the bad apples. But my personal experience is stop trying to control me. Thank you. Appreciate it. So I wanted to bring something up, every once in a while, and I've been like this my whole life. And I know my mom wished she could have had this, but a house full of love, happy holidays. Some people come crashing the party and kind of stole that away. I know that not all marriages, I'm not naive enough. These days, there are people who still do not believe in divorce, but I do know that not everyone is perfectly matched, and I totally get it. I've been in many relationships where it's like, I got to get out of this one. How am I going to save myself? Some people don't save themselves, and they are in marriages bearing fruit for their husbands or wives, and they kind of know something was off from the get-go, but they're willing to go with it because money is a pretty thing. Money looks good. Tell me about it. All I want now is money. Just give me the money. I will go off somewhere, live modestly, and I will zip it. But I'm also a very holistic and certain type of person where I don't need people to dangle money. I just want my own money. Thanks. I'll control my own life. Thank you. But I'm here to say that I really wished for these things. I do think that people grow up in certain environments, and it's incredibly hard to find that. Not everybody's perfect. It's a show that's put on for TV that everybody loves, being in, showing up. They used to say the old Norman Rockwell paintings of Christmas, but that's so age old that would drive me crazy. It's more like, some people can get together and gather and have a house full of love. And in general, people like each other, and there's this natural flow where the kids go over here because they're hanging out with so-and-so. Oh, where's so-and-so? Oh, they're playing bingo over there, or whatever. I have never known that. I do not know what that is. And in fact, I come from such a damaged situation because of having to be shuffled. There's a million ingredients to this. It has to do with Delaware. We have all kinds of stuff that shuffled foundations for all kinds of people. Divorce, desegregation, drugs, so forth and so on. Divorce is a biggie. I would recommend against it unless it's absolutely necessary. But I also know there are some people in marriages, and it might have been better to not have gotten married. But anyway, we won't get into it. My point is, I think about it, and I think, oh, how cool would it have been to get up this morning to go out for brunch because, hey, it's Super Bowl Sunday and the Eagles are in it. Grab some coffee, that old feeling. I lost this feeling a long time ago, like having a partner, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, and somebody getting up in the morning, I'll run out and get coffee, bring back the donuts. That's old stuff to me. But there is this sense of, hey, when the holidays roll around, how cool would it be to be in a non-threatening environment where there's no power dynamics or struggles that are so severe that people kind of want to duck out or never want to show up? Are there families where there's equality and no one has to pat someone on the head or make them feel less than or be self-righteous? I don't know. I know they're out there. I have kind of seen people. Every once in a blue moon, I have a fairly decent client, and I know that they have incredibly healthy homes and lives. That doesn't exist in my world. I didn't grow up with that at all. My mom desperately probably wanted it. She comes from a certain mindset and background. She's passed away and deceased now. My mom, aunt, and dad, and his second wife of many years, since 1973. But I do know this, a certain mentality came in to sort of ruin the idea of ever wanting to be controlled or to feel obligated to people who lord money over you or what have you. And no offense, Italians, but in my mind, there's a certain type of Italian that would even be depicted in movies. And just a trace of it, because not everyone's fully Italian or fully... I come from a mixed bag of mutts, big time. There's no definitive thing. I think Scottish, Old English, and is there any Irish in part of my... Anyway, I think that's kind of in our group. But there are people out there, they're just a little sliver of that sociopathic Italian still sits in there. Yeah. And these people operate by a base and very low level place of fear. And they bring people into their lair. And they use tactics to make sure no one gets out of line, because if you get out of line, then you escape. Just enough to make sure people stay in place and they never leave. Now, I can't speak for men. I'm sure it's happened to men. But ladies, you know that feeling when you stepped into that room and you're like, something's off. I don't belong here. And this person wants to sleep with me or whatever. And you're like, it's a little too dark. Ding, 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 ding. Or we are going into the home of someone who hasn't bought their own new house yet, even though they have money. But they're still saving for a certain reason, or they won't leave this house. And other people have slept here. And it's dark. Very dark world. And I know there's that feeling of, if I go into here, that's technically a step backwards because it's into dark, evil, we could be harmed land in a certain way. Even if we wind up with money and everything looks pretty. There's danger, Will Robinson, danger, Will Robinson, danger. I know that feeling, and I'm wondering how many people have felt that feeling and kept going because the money looks good enough. Danger, Will Robinson, danger. There are lots of people who stepped over that threshold and they walked into like a new borderland. That's human trafficking at a different level. There are people who operate in very subtle ways, and little clues are here and there, and they are technically born of and operate with a human trafficking mentality. They will keep you in place for their agenda, and it's gross. It is very difficult for someone who experienced these clutches to be able to find healthy people or trust that they're healthy. I know they're out there, but technically they already found other people. I don't know how to operate that way. And in order to protect oneself, you stay here. Don't try to control me ever again. Do you hear me? Don't ever think that you can control me because someone else is at the wheel. I want to know why people from certain locations think they're all that in a bag of chips. You know the feeling. You know you're walking into darkness. And we accept it for some reason. I don't know. I can't speak for men, but there are women who accept this all the time. And I don't want them to accept it. But anyway, so House Full of Love, life, just the hope for that was stolen from me ages ago. But in 2011, people came in and slapped down my ass and tried to make me fear something that I actually was trying to escape from. We're going to make you look like a pedophile. We're going to make you look like a sexual predator. Now you're in the LGBT community, so that should be fun. We'll make you look like Paula Poundstone. Meanwhile, I want to know if Paula Poundstone was ever violated by a man. And those men close ranks. The problem is a lot of men have the money and power still. It'll never change. I have resigned. I know ladies have come a long way. They have jobs, they have money, they have influence and some power. But in the end, that old club, and it's a big club, will always close ranks around someone who's trying to speak up. To save women and vulnerable men. And there are men who grew up in icky lives, and those people will glom on them immediately. In a way, my dad grew up in a very bad way. All you need is someone coming around offering a plate of something better. So that's a little trap. A little Venus flytrap, right? I seek out therapy trying to escape from a whole world, dynamic, kind of a mindset, but it was there for a reason, and experience, an actual life experience. And what happens? They come closing around. Hey, you want to be liberated? You want to act like you're a man? I never wanted to act like a man. I wanted to have the liberation that men get to have and the power and control they get to have. Women never get that. They never will. Sorry, ladies. We can watch Shark Tank, and when one good deal comes up, the men jump on it like vultures, and the women decide, you know what, we're out. We don't want, I know they're going to play this game because it happens lightning fast. Because they, higher up men, not the ones who, some men might have been part of slapping me down, but people way up there in Cuba land, Michael Cuban land, and he seems like a good guy, so I don't think he's part of that club. But they already know. Those thoughts are flowing big time, quick. We got to get this guy out there quick, and it could be to catch the people who form traps. Okay, have a nice day. You never know who's out there trying to catch people who create traps for people like me, or people with higher degrees, or other vulnerable people who didn't get to have the life they wanted when they grew up. Keep running up that hill, make a deal with God. Hey, Biden, I was wondering,